This episode of Now This Is Lit is brought to you by Audible. Check the link in the description to get your first Star Wars audiobook free. Everyone loves free things. Click that link. Do it. This show is also brought to you by our patrons. If you want to support the show in a different way, with just $1 a month, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/StarWarsLitPod. You can get a sticker. You can get access to an exclusive show that we do every month that's wild and chaotic and fun, and something you can only get now by becoming a member of the Patreon. There'll be so many more perks very, very soon. But for now, do you want a sticker? Do you want a sticker that has a Now This Is Lit logo? Because it's fantastic and I love them. But I also want to give them away because there's just a stack of stickers on my desk. So if you want one, $1 a month. Patreon.com/StarWarsLitPod. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. You're listening to Now This Is Lit, a podcast about Star Wars books, the people who make them, and the readers who just can't get enough of them. I'm your host, Meg Dowell. I use she, her pronouns, and it's new Star Wars book day. Today in your feed, you'll find 2 episodes, both on the same book. This is the review for My Life with the Jedi, The Spirituality of Star Wars, but I also have an interview with the author that's also in your feed right now. So you can listen to this one first or that one first, whether you want to listen to Eric talk about the book and then my review, or the other way around. It's up to you. But this is my review of the book. I am so grateful for Eric and for Loyola Press for the review copy of the book so that I got to experience it and then talk about it and then now tell you about it. It's out today. I hope you'll grab it and let me tell you why in just a minute. As the Star Wars universe continues to expand, and more fans begin to apply its stories, themes, and messages to their own real-world lives and experiences, familiar patterns continue their course. Not all story lovers are writers, but those who are have a tendency to turn their innocent analyses into books, which is the case with Eric Clayton's new book, My Life with the Jedi, The Spirituality of Star Wars. While I have reviewed a variety of nonfiction Star Wars books on this show, and have had the pleasure of speaking with some of their writers and editors, Eric's is the first featured on Now This Is Lit to view Star Wars through a spiritual lens, and the timing could not have been better. Spirituality is, by definition, an interest in humanity and the immaterial existence, things we can feel and find purpose in, but not things we can take with us beyond this life. Spirituality is often spoken about in association with religion, but in looking at a galaxy far, far away's spiritual implications, it doesn't have to be. To analyze the spirit of Star Wars is to think more deeply about ourselves, how we interact with one another, and how the franchise and its stories can teach us to look at our lives differently in the interest of living them more fully. Eric, like many of us, has experienced a journey through Star Wars and Star Wars fandom that involved a gradual wandering and epic return. We speak more about this in the interview. Go listen to that too. His day job ultimately led to an unexpected outcome, one many dream of but never see to fruition. The opportunity to write a book about how Star Wars can inspire us to live better, more fulfilling lives through seemingly simple and well-known themes such as caves, wounds, redemption, and even sand. The book brings readers back to familiar moments in Star Wars, and then challenges us to reflect on our own lives related to those moments. We're asked to think about ourselves with the intention of improving our futures, using Star Wars as a guide, almost as if we're being tricked into applying messages from a galaxy far, far away to our own pasts and futures, but all with good intentions. My Life with the Jedi is a book you could read at 10 different points in your life and walk away from it with new insights and inspirations each time, which is, to me, a true sign of an expertly crafted book. Eric was one of my writers during my tenure as Dork Side of the Force's lead editor, so I had no doubt going into my first read that his writing analysis, and takeaways would hit every intended mark. And yet, I found myself absolutely blown away by his ability to take a seemingly surface-level concept like Anakin's hatred of sand and leave me breathless at the end of a chapter, contemplating all the barriers I have let hold me back from my desired future for the past 30 years. A book that can grab hold of you and shake you like that, words that can catch you off guard in the way that something has needed to for years, is not to be missed. While nonfiction like this may not be the kind of reading you normally gravitate toward, I highly encourage you to make an exception for this book if you can. Star Wars analysis is at its best when it explores who we are and who we can become as people. It's not about the dialogue or the special effects, or even who dies at the end, though all of that is fun to discuss. Instead, it's about who we become when we face our fears, what we accomplish when we trust the universe or the Force, what happens when we let others in to help us move forward, and the power of accepting who we used to be in order to love who we are now. If you, like me, are in need of a good excuse to sit back and think long and hard about your life, while also revisiting some of your favorite stories in Star Wars, make this book your next Star Wars read. I can guarantee you won't regret it. My Life with the Jedi, The Spirituality of Star Wars, is available now wherever you get your Star Wars books. Now This Is Lit is part of the Far Right Fandom Network. It is produced by Devor Mondum, and written, hosted, and edited by me. Jose Jimenez designed our podcast art. You can keep up with the show on Substack at Now This Is Lit, and find the show wherever you get your podcasts. There are many ways you can support the show, and the links to all of those things are in the show description, but the newest way is to support our Patreon. For $1 a month, you can get access to an exclusive show, a sticker, and soon, many, many more perks to come. Your support, no matter how you choose to support, is always appreciated. Making a podcast, especially making a Star Wars podcast, is hard. But even your effort to listen and absorb the things that I talk about and the people that I invite on, it matters. So thank you, as always. For more book reviews and Star Wars book celebration, follow Star Wars Book Reviews on Instagram and TikTok.